What's up, everyone? We're going to be covering a mission building guide today for Fortnite PVE Save the World. We're going to be going over build ideas and what they do. We're going to also teach you the other things that allow you flexibility in your builds, and going through each mission building type except for Launch the Rocket. That one has got a pretty standard one, but we'll be covering all that. But let's get into this right now. So first on the list is Fight the Storm. These are going to be your single Atlas ones where you'll place your Atlas here and you're going to defend it. So these are pretty straightforward for these. So, and we're also going to be using wood for the structure just because, for the sake of argument. In the later missions, you're going to get into where you're going to be doing the rock, paper, scissors of understanding whether to use wood, metal, or stone for your guided structure. Whatever the weaker element is, you don't want to mess that. But anyways, so what I've been using here is the F4 or the fourth construction one to allow you to do what is the pyramid build, and I will explain why the pyramid build is so good. So once you get this going, and also clearing your structure out is a big thing. I didn't completely clear it out here, but for the sake of what we're doing, here you go. So anyways, getting this built, if it'll let me, if it will let me, please let me. You're not gonna let me, are you? But the reason of the pyramid build, there's our pyramid, there we go. So the reason that this is so good is because when you are fighting, what's gonna happen is they're gonna get partway up the wall or go all the way up here. You can place a trap up here, you can place ceiling little areas up here, and do things like that. So you've got an actual ceiling trap that rains down hell, or you can put something else here, healing trap, whatever. But the reason these are so good is because they are, number one, going to go farther to get to your stuff. It's a little harder for them to splash damage into the Atlas. But when you have a smasher wave, when the smashers are attacking, they're gonna run, they're gonna charge right over the top of it, and they'll keep going. So that provides you that leeway of, instead of if you built a flat wall right here and just built a box around it, they would charge through it and have the Atlas open for other stuff. Smashers aren't going to damage your Atlas, so to speak, but they're going to open it up for the others to come in there and start blowing it up. So that's why the pyramid is so strong for doing a lot of things. Whenever you can defend it this way, I would say do it. It's very efficient. You don't have to waste a lot of resources. You can kind of bullet farm. From here, what you can do if you're doing solo missions, one thing I would suggest doing is putting down this for damage traps or something, or crowd control-esque. But what you can do from here, if you need to buy some extra time, you can put down angled walls like this, so you got little funnel choke points before they get in. Watch your recommended build limit when you're doing it. Sometimes you can just get away with doing a pyramid and then doing your other stuff, whatever you're feeling comfortable with. But this is for Fight the Storm, single Atlas. And if it's multiple Atlases, you can run with the pyramid on each of them and sometimes connect them. As long as you've got some sort of ramp for them to go over, it'll work out very well. Next on our list is the Ride the Lightning mission. Now this one's a little different because this is actually a two-phase mission, so you'll have your first stage where you're still going to need to defend with everything all the way up. I would say finish your build all the way. You can go get by not building all the way up, but you will need to by the second stage, so might as well get it done early. So in this particular place, sometimes you run out of a little bit of room, but I like doing an L-shaped build if I can. Sometimes what you can do is do the actual box. This one from here, as opposed to doing with the pyramid build, which you would build all the way around, you really can't do that because you run out of space a little bit. So what you do to supplement that actually is you actually build outward facing stairs, or the F4 outward facing like that. Now you have to be a little cautious in these areas and stuff. What you can do, always, I would say almost always put down some sort of crowd control in this little area, just in case they get here, because it's going to get a little closer. But from here, what you're going to do, actually build upwards, then up there, and then start building, and this is, I'm only using wood right now, just because I would always say go with your strongest resource you can on the bottom. Whatever, when you get into the rock, paper, scissors, like nature against the stone, or the metal against nature against metal, stuff like that, where it's nature against metal, water against the stone. I know I messed that up a little bit. But anyways, from here, what you do, I would actually say build it that way. Build the stairs, and that way you can put down the little base if you need to. But from here, get it done. This allows you to be up here. Get it, I would say get it topped off, and then I would say also build another little rung up there, just because what happens is on the second waves you will generally get lobbers. So building these the little F4s up here, little mini pyramids, those will actually stop the lobbers. So you're gonna actually be in good shape to be defended, because what's gonna happen if they start hitting this stuff, it will start splash damage on the second phase. So you want to make sure you got that. And I've also seen people where they'll actually build outwards here too. I'd say that's a little overkill, but you can if you really want to, or you can go with something like this. Then we've got a little bit more leeway. The stairs over here actually do block quite a bit, so you can actually get by with just those. But yeah, this is pretty much the Ride the Lightning mission as a whole. And this will actually get you, but yeah, these are optional over here, but everything else over here, what you can do is put down launch pads, the floor launchers, wall launchers, and you should be able to defend this with the bullets or your skills or whatever. But this allows you enough leeway to get there if an area is getting hit with anything. But it's really simple, and it stays under the recommended build limit, which you always want if you want those extra XPs. Always works out good. But yeah, this is a very, very standard build for this. And from what you can do here, if we didn't have this wall so close here, what we do is actually block this off. Then you can actually block off and have another little extra area to cover. Take this out. I'll show you the other way. If you could actually do the full block, and if I could actually jump too, that would also help. But from here, what you can do, if it wasn't so close to there, you can actually build it where it's this, all cordoned off, and then all the way up. That way you've got another little bit of leeway. It's a little bit extra, kind of sort of overkill, but it's up to you. It's all up to you. But that would give it another little extra section, so it would only be getting hit from this side, but that's if you're really going for the W on this one. So, but there's the Ride the Lightning. Our next mission we're going to be covering is the Retrieve the Data. So, first off, one thing that doesn't have to do with any of the building, but allows you to get there if you want to start your build early, look up in the air and try to find it. You can actually see up there to find your nice little balloon, so we know which way to go for that. But these missions, you can do a super efficient build, or you can do like a standard box, or you can do pyramids. I feel like there's a lot more flexibility with this one. But I'm going to show you my preferred way when getting into Retrieve the Data. First off, always show up and start clearing these out. They are time missions, so make sure you're kind of being efficient. All right, I'm thinking it's in this quadrant. Sometimes I get a little rusty, but it's okay to be wrong. You can kind of adjust when it starts getting a little lower, but nice little quick missions if you want to get in here, because you can actually shoot down the balloon at the 8-minute mark, so that's always a very nice thing to cut out a little bit of time. It gives your builder some time, you know, one person seek it out and start at least getting some of the fundamentals built. But if you ever see anybody doing what I'm about to do, don't freak out and don't think that they're not totally 100% prepared. They've got a plan, man. Alright, so we've located it. It's going to be in this quadrant. So, like I said, we're using wood for these. There we go. But what you do, you can actually go in there like that. What I would do is I would use my strongest one in there. And this is actually very similar to doing, it's actually the exact same thing, except for a little bit of a little bit of a change up. But it's almost the same exact thing as doing a Fight the Storm mission. What we're going to do is we're going to build a pyramid around this one, just because I like having this one, with a couple of slight variations on it, just because these can get... If you're doing these solo, I would say do what I'm about to do. So, build another couple of walls in here, and they're going to stick out for right now, just so you can see that they're happening. But what we're going to do is we're going to have those walls in there. We're going to edit those down to kind of cordon it off. This just allows me to do solo missions a lot easier, and get in there and kind of do my thing. But just edit it down, just taking off those little corners there, and that's going to get you to where you can actually have a little bit of breathing room. And also from here, so if I was defending the solo and it was a higher level mission, what I would do is I would actually build a couple of tiers around it, wherever they're going to attack from. I don't actually know right yet. It's coming from the northwest. But what I would do is I would actually throw down a lot more of these. I would put down stuff like this, where I've actually got a little bit more blockage. Even if they just start attacking that area, it's going to buy me a little bit more time. I would have the floors all set. This... and then just get down whatever. Get down. No, I'd be putting down any of my traps. If I just wanted crowd control traps, or if I wanted damage traps, I'd be putting those down. A lot of the time I like a mix of damage and slowing. Damage, slowing, and crowd control. Just allows you a little bit extra breathing room when you're in the mission, so. What I would do, this would be as if I was playing solo in a higher end match, and I wouldn't also be playing with my constructor as much. I'd want something with a little more damage damage boof. Yes, boof. Damage boof. So another thing that you can do is you can actually just build an inner box covering that particular area instead of the pyramid. This is very acceptable to do. Just make sure that you're in there with a coordinated team for this. You're going to need to go after smashers and make sure they're not able to break it open and open it up for other stuff. But yeah, you can do just a regular square around there. This, like I said, is only for if you're out to win it, and sometimes if you're solo too. But I changed up a little bit of that stuff just so we can actually put down some wall darts, whatever else I needed to if I wanted to. But even then, what you can do is you can cut out all this extra stuff around here if you really were... If you're feeling confident with your team that you could just kind of bullet farm it. Just building the inner pyramid with the small box in there, you can skip out the mini walls in there too. But once we get to that 8-minute mark, then we will pop that down and we will finish up the build real quick. And then it's gonna be on. Now, one last thing before we hit that 8-minute mark. Always make sure you check in with your team before you're bringing it down. If someone's still finishing their build, make sure the people are feeling comfortable. If you feel like there's enough, try to communicate with your team. Make sure, you know, if you see ready, do R, a question mark. Simple stuff like that is going to help you with these missions also. Don't be that guy in a group that's just going to pop it down, and, you know, just don't do that. But anyways, it's a simple thing, and then that's also the crunch time, because you do have to finish this off a little bit. Otherwise, you'd need to build around a little bit more. But yeah, there is a little bit of a crunch time, so having a nice little coordinated team once you are able to start taking the shots at it and bringing it down, that's a good thing. So everyone kind of knows, so you're not fumbling over each other, and, you know, but here we go. Here's a fun start. I have to actually get on my other. There we go. And down. There we go. Did a little mistake there. That's all right though. There we go. Take this down. And also base placements on these missions. You can do base placement off to the side if you really needed to. But getting these built in here, building a base, I'd say building it over there, and that's going to get you a good coverage over there. You can set it up at the top. I wouldn't suggest it. You can also put it under these areas. What happens is, also make sure you're finishing off the these type of things, then closing yourself in here, because that's a smart thing to do too. Let me get myself out of here. Damn it. Get out of here, thing. Life's little mistakes. There we go. But doing this, I didn't finish off all my stuff, so that was my bad. But like I said, takes a little bit of coordination. I don't have my coordination, evidently. But being able to build this up, they'll be able to take they're taking damage off this. Like I said, these are lower level missions. You don't need to build up a top to this one. You can if you really want to, but leaving this top portion open, you can actually do the stuff to build up another area up top, and then you can build something to drop down, especially with tire traps and other things. That'll allow you, and I haven't covered traps in this. That's where you go with what you're comfortable with. If you, like me personally, I like wall launchers, I like floor launchers, so I use those quite a bit, because a lot of the time it's bullet farming, and sometimes I'll mix in some other traps or some sort of slows if I know I need to in certain areas or choke points. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward for the Ride the Lightning one. It's just a little bit of coordination when it gets to that 8-minute mark, if you're bringing it down, and it's basically another pyramid build. And like I said, all this stuff extra out here is fluff. You can cut that down if you want to, and that would drop it down quite substantially. But even then, we're still at 58 of our 110 with the stuff, and you can go ham if you really want to. But that's Ride the Lightning build. Next on our list is Repair the Shelter. So this particular mission is a little different than the others. This one, I would say, if you can, try to play this one in the group. You can do this solo, but playing this one with a group is a little bit easier. Just because you've got one group going out and doing the thing to go and grab the modules to start it, and then you've got one person kind of controlling the build and kind of defending the stuff. This particular one, you can do pretty much a box build. This is the one that I generally go with. I'm going to set up some of the stuff just so I can get up there, and this is my personal. This is actually going to show you some of the, not the traps, but I would say around these before you set the module or set the repair console going. What I would do is actually get a couple of the jump pads. Where are you at? I want to build up 2 of those. But I'm going to set these down here just because we've actually got to destroy stuff first. We'll destroy them. We'll destroy them. They're interrupting. Don't they know? This is like a live stream. Oh my god, it's happening. It's happening. Alright, so anyways. Get that down. Jump up here. Then you can actually get some of your stuff. And I did not mean to actually jump inside. Did not actually mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. Alright, so from here, what we can do, start building. Well, we can do that. We can do that. We can just fall right through. Fall right through like it. Yep. So, but what you're going to do is you're just basically going to build up, and I'm going to show you this way, just to get this done. Get this built up, but you're going to build out, I would say, strongest, as always, on the bottom, just to get that covered, but you kind of get the point here with where you're putting stuff. What's important here is actually how you do these. This is my particular way of doing these missions. So what I'll do is I'll actually set up the kind of fenced wall with the floors. And what I'm going to do here, we're actually going to fence out some extra stuff. So do this. You can kind of cut that out if you really want to. Those have lower health, so bear in mind that does have lower health in this one. Not by much, but it's enough that it could make or break it. So sometimes I would set that in there. I like having the jump pads for people to get up top if they need to do anything up there. It allows you to get that build going, but it kind of lets these also serve dual purpose here, where you can actually build up the full wall there, and I'll show you why. Except for that guy was going to try to mess their stuff. Oh no. Oh, bye-bye. Never mind. So what you can do here, And this allows you to have some extra build and damage going on. You can set up wall darts here on these two things, these little areas here. So you've got a protective area to fight from, but it's also going to shoot the wall darts down there. It'll have a nice overlap on this stuff. Set wall launchers on these. So wall launchers on these, wall darts on those little corner shots, and then you're going to have enough damage. And this is all about a time. You have a set time in these missions, so it's all about just kind of surviving more than anything. And I know I didn't finish that up there. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Question me. No, you can question me. It's okay. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. But this allows you little areas to fight from. You generally will get some smashers on these missions. So setting up these wall launchers and setting up this, they're still going to get knocked back. It's going to break their impact bar and send them flying. But from here, you've got it built up. Up top, what you can do, since you are limited, you are kind of limited on your build limit. It's not terrible, but it's enough that, you know, be conscientious of your stuff. You don't need to go ham. If you're really feeling like you're gonna have a little bit of extra damage, or you don't feel you're comfortable with everything, you can set up a couple of the F4 builds up on top to give you a little bit of cushion up top. But that's up to you. And it's only a couple extra little pieces that you can do with it. But yeah, you can set up the jump pads to get up top if you need to repair anything. You can, once you set the console to go and start hunting for stuff, you can completely wall off everything and not have to worry about it. So, but that is repair the shelter in a nutshell for that. Well, we've got deliver the bomb up next. And this particular mission, one thing I would suggest, look for the rift. That's where you're gonna kind of start being able to find the actual bomb delivery system, and it's got to be around here someplace. Got to be around here someplace. Find it. We'll find it. But that particular thing is what you look for, and then you look for this, and it's kind of your easy way to find B, Bravo, which we got to tear out a little bit of stuff. These are pretty straightforward for this one, with how you build around this. Simple boxes and stuff. This one's actually got a little bit to tear out here, but, and stuff to blow up here. These fools. They gotta go. They gotta go. But, and you can also use the structures if you really want to. You can actually use the structures that you have around you. This particular one is just kind of a, I don't know, I feel like this is the more funky of the builds. When you first get in here, I would say build it up like that. Simple stuff. And then another building trick, if you don't want to build a jump pad to go and get up to stuff, what you can do, build those, little slanted wall, get up there, and start building things that way. And this is a really straightforward one for this. I mean, the defense is going to be kind of understanding where they're going to be attacking from there, but you can actually use a little bit of this building to your own advantage. I would say cut out some of the walls here, but leave some of it, and you've got a little bit of extra leeway and stuff that they got to chew through. But this particular one, running your tracks to it, that's one of the things that you can run these pretty easy solo. In the defense and stuff, if you're ever running into trouble, always remember, build the outward facing little ramps, the little stairs, build those away if you need to. Those are going to buy you an incredible amount of time if you need to. But yeah, those are kind of my go-to for whenever things might get a little rough, or if I'm just kind of feeling like, man, I need a little bit of buffer time. And also they let you kind of, if you're good with the sprint jump, you can actually use those as your way up, so you can actually eliminate stuff like this. And I like it for that. But once you get good at that sprint jump, you can get up and on that stuff, and then you've got another way up if you're managing your stamina properly. But straightforward, little nice little kind of box rectangle thing, and just easy. But yeah, what you can do from here, build up the floor little launchers, and then you can do the same thing like you did on the last one if you really want to, where you can actually set up some little fighting areas in there. Set up some wall darts so they shoot down there, and then they're getting CC'd and pushed away, getting shot at with those, with the wall darts down from there. And you end up, and you're also, remember, build limit on this one. Build limit is probably lower than a lot of them on this, so be very careful of that so you don't go over if you're trying to get that extra little bit of oomph out of your leveling and progression process stuff. So go eliminate these guys, send them back in the abyss. Let's go on to the next one. So the next mission that we're gonna cover is evacuate the shelter. This one can get a little get in there and do your thing really quick. It's one of those missions that can get a little overwhelming at times just because of what you're tasked with at the start. You gotta get a lot of stuff blown out. If you join before everyone's ready, it can cause a little bit of a, oh god, what's happening thing. But other than that, I prefer just getting in there with a group if you're gonna do this one, and make sure everyone kind of joins at the right time. This is about the same style of build as the repair the shelter, so just making sure you're getting in there and just starting your build almost immediately, getting your stuff going, going in there with a coordinated team, and that one's gonna be a really good friend. This one's actually pretty good position for this one, but it's just that initial get in there and having to run in. As a builder, it can, your job, if anything, you shelter it a little bit, give the shelter a little bit of TLC. Go in there, throw down, don't be afraid to throw down stuff. I didn't bother doing it just because I'm where I'm at for level and power over this one, but same style of thing for this one as we did with the other. So I got one left, so what we'll do is we'll do that. And then we'll hit it anyway on accident. Alright, so here, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do it one more time. Alright, so another style, and we fall through. Still got that happening. That's alright. That's alright. One more time. There we go. Alright, so same style of thing as evacuate the shelter. Or repair the shelter, sorry, we're in evacuate. So same style of thing, you can build up if you really need to up here with that same style. But yeah, I would say the strongest one down here. For this particular one, I would do outward facing walls, the little outward facing stairs or whatever, just to give you a little bit of extra buffer room. Also doing that when you first get here it's also going to cut down, they might hit a little bit, but if you start your build right there, if you get there right away, it can buy a little bit of extra time, and it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing by any means. So, but really straightforward for this one. Once you've done the other missions, you kind of see where the similarities are, and this particular one has a lot of that stuff. So, but there's that one, and that is our builds. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget those things. But also, more importantly, what builds do you like doing in the missions? Throw a comment down below if you got one, and we'll see you for the next video guide. Take care, and burn those husks to the ground. Take care. Bye-bye.